On a chilly morning in Birmingham, Alabama, the air was crisp enough to see your breath, but not cold enough for snow. People hurried in and out of the Children's Medical Center on 7th Avenue, bundled in thick scarves and clutching steaming coffee cups, trying to escape the cold that seemed to seep into their bones. Among them, a little boy sat quietly on a flattened cardboard box near the revolving doors, sketching in a worn notebook. His name was Noah, just 9 years old. He wore a coat that was a size too big, with the sleeves rolled up, and one of his boots was held together with duct tape. A bright blue beanie sat low on his forehead, barely covering his ears. He didn't beg for money or ask for help. He simply observed the flow of people with a calm demeanor. This was a routine for him as he came to the hospital most Saturdays. At first, some hospital staff tried to shoo him away, but eventually they gave up. Noah was harmless. He greeted those who spoke to him with a smile, but mostly he remained absorbed in his drawings. Most passers-by assumed he had a parent or sibling inside the hospital, or perhaps he was just waiting for a ride. No one dared to ask too many questions in such a solemn place. Across the street, a sleek black SUV idled by a fire hydrant, its engine humming quietly. Inside, a middle-aged man named Michael sat, his jawline sharp and his hair streaked with grey. His tie hung loosely, and his collar was slightly wrinkled, a telltale sign of a man under stress. Michael was wealthy, evident in the gleaming sheen of his car, even in the hospital's harsh fluorescent lighting. Yet his expression was one of exhaustion, as if he were running on empty. In the back seat, a booster chair cradled his daughter, Lily, who was just 6 years old, her curly hair tucked behind one ear, her legs wrapped in a pink blanket. Her eyes were wide open, staring blankly ahead. She had fallen silent ever since the accident that changed everything. One moment, she was climbing trees and playing tag in the backyard, and the next, she was paralyzed from the waist down. As Michael carefully lifted Lily out of the car, cradling her as if she were fragile, he didn't notice Noah at first. But Noah, always observant, took note of the way Michael held his daughter, the way her gaze was fixed on the sky, avoiding the looming hospital building. Noah felt compelled to call out, "Sir, I can help your daughter walk again." Michael halted mid-step, taken aback not by anger or confusion, but by the unwavering sincerity in Noah's voice. It was not a joke or a sales pitch. It was a simple, earnest declaration that felt undeniably real. He turned, narrowing his eyes at the little boy. "What did you just say?" Noah stood firm, his notebook clutched under his arm. "I said, I can help her walk again." Michael tightened his grip on Lily, skepticism hardening in his chest. "That's not funny, kid." "I'm not joking," Noah replied, his voice steady. There was no hint of a smile, just a calm certainty that seemed far beyond his years. Michael glanced down at Noah's worn clothes, the taped-up boot, and the cracked glasses hanging from the boy's shirt collar. He dismissed it as mere coincidence or possibly a scam and walked into the hospital without another word. Yet, as he sat through Lily's appointments and listened to the same phrases from doctors about managing expectations and the long road ahead, Noah's words echoed in his mind like a persistent itch. "I can help your daughter walk again." Imagine encountering a child who claims to possess an extraordinary ability. How would you respond? Would you dismiss their words, or would you consider the hope they offer? Reflect on this as we journey through their story. After a long morning filled with appointments, Michael and Lily stepped out of the hospital, the sun breaking through the grey clouds, but the air still biting cold. As he prepared to lift Lily back into the car, he noticed Noah again, still perched on his cardboard box with that same worn notebook. Michael hesitated, the boy's earlier words lingering in his mind like an unwelcome thought. "Why would you say something like that?" Michael muttered, approaching Noah with a mix of frustration and curiosity. Do you think this is some kind of joke? Noah shook his head slowly, his expression earnest. No, sir. You don't even know her. His voice was calm, devoid of any bravado, and it struck Michael in a way that was hard to dismiss.
You don't know what she's been through. You don't know what we've been through, Michael snapped, feeling a surge of protectiveness for his daughter. The last 6 months had been a nightmare, filled with endless therapy sessions and heartbreaking setbacks. Noah didn't flinch. I don't have to know her to help, he replied quietly, his gaze unwavering. The conviction in his voice surprised Michael, making him pause. You're just a kid, Michael said, crossing his arms defensively. What could you possibly know about helping someone like my daughter? He glanced at Lily, who was resting her head on his shoulder, her eyes closed.
She seemed so fragile, so delicate, and the weight of her condition pressed heavily on his chest. Noah looked down, tracing the edge of his notebook with his finger. My mom used to help people walk again, he said, his voice almost a whisper. She was a physical therapist. She taught me things. She said, the body remembers how to move even when it forgets for a while. Michael stared at him. Skepticism battling with something else, curiosity perhaps. So you just watched her do some stretches and now you think you can be a doctor, he replied, trying to mask his doubt. I watched her help a man walk after being in a chair for 5 years, Noah said, his eyes lifting to meet Michael's. She didn't have any machines or nurses, just her hands, her patience and faith. For a moment, Michael was silent, taking in the boy's sincerity. He glanced around, noticing a nurse passing by who gave Noah a small wave and a warm smile, as well as a janitor who nodded in acknowledgement of the boy. It was clear that Noah was known here, and that thought unsettled him. I'm not giving you money, Michael said, his voice firm. I didn't ask for money, Noah replied, unruffled. Then what do you want? Michael pressed, feeling the tension in the air. Noah took a deep breath and stepped closer. Just 1 hour, let me show you. Michael looked back at Lily, whose eyes had opened, watching the exchange with curiosity. He sighed, rubbing the bridge of his nose, feeling the weight of indecision. I should just walk away right now. Noah remained quiet, his expression steady. Finally, Michael huffed, Fine. If you want to waste your time, kid, meet us at Harrington Park tomorrow at noon. Don't be late. Noah nodded once, a hint of determination in his eyes. I'll be there. As Michael climbed into the SUV and started the engine, he glanced back at Noah in the rearview mirror. The boy stood there, hands at his sides, his face inscrutable. Michael felt an odd mixture of hope and skepticism swirling inside him. What would you do if a child approached you with an offer that seemed too good to be true? Would you be willing to take a chance on hope? Consider how your choices might shape not only your life, but the lives of others. The next day, the sun shone brightly as Michael drove toward Harrington Park, feeling a mix of anxiety and skepticism about his decision. He had agreed to meet Noah, but a part of him still couldn't shake the feeling that this was a mistake. As he parked the SUV, he glanced at Lily, who was excitedly bouncing in her seat, her enthusiasm infectious. Are you ready, sweetheart? He asked, trying to gauge her mood. She offered him a bright smile, her eyes sparkling with hope. Yeah, Daddy, I want to see the boy. As they approached the park, Michael noticed Noah sitting on a bench beneath a large oak tree. The boy was dressed in the same oversized jacket and had his gym bag beside him, looking calm and collected. Michael felt a twinge of irritation. What could this child possibly know that the doctors hadn't already told him? Still, he pushed those thoughts aside as he wheeled Lily closer. Hi, Issa. Noah greeted Lily with a warm smile as she waved shyly. I'm glad you came. Hi, she replied, her excitement barely contained. Michael stood back, arms crossed, trying to maintain an air of skepticism.
All right, what's the plan? Michael asked, trying to sound indifferent, but he couldn't help the edge in his voice. Noah opened his gym bag and pulled out a few items, a pair of socks, a tennis ball, a small container of warm rice wrapped in cloth, and a jar of cocoa butter. What is all this stuff? Michael queried, raising an eyebrow. Noah looked up with a patient smile. These are just the basics. The rice is for heat. It helps loosen tight muscles. The tennis ball is for pressure points. He turned to Lily, kneeling beside her wheelchair. If it's okay with you, I'd like to work with your legs for a little while. Nothing will hurt, I promise. If anything feels weird, just say stop. Lily looked at Michael, who gave a small nod of approval. You can try, but be careful, he warned, still feeling protective. Noah gently unwrapped the blanket from Lily's legs and placed the warm rice pack over her thighs. Is that too hot? He asked, watching her closely. She shook her head, a smile creeping onto her face. No, it feels good. As Noah began moving her legs gently, Michael observed closely, ready to intervene if necessary. Have you done this before? He asked, unable to hide his curiosity. Noah continued his work, focused on Lily. My mum used to take me to shelters after school. She helped veterans and people who couldn't afford therapy. She always said, everyone deserves to feel human again. I used to carry her bag.
Michael felt a pang of sadness at the mention of Noah's mother, recognizing the depth of the boy's experience. And she taught you this stuff? He pressed, still skeptical. Yeah, Noah replied, nodding. She said the body doesn't always need fancy equipment, it just needs attention and care. He glanced at Lily, encouraging her to relax as he continued the gentle movements. As the minutes passed, Michael noticed something shifting within himself. He saw how engaged Lily was, how she was beginning to respond to Noah's gentle guidance. Her legs moved slightly, and even the smallest of changes sparked a glimmer of hope in Michael's heart. Just try to wiggle your toes, Noah encouraged Lily, guiding her through the motions. The boy's calm demeanor seemed to ease Lily's tension, and slowly she began to move her toes, even if just a little. Good job, Isa. You're doing great, Noah cheered, his enthusiasm infectious. For the first time in months, Michael felt a flicker of something he hadn't felt in a long time: hope. Reflect on how a simple act of kindness can spark change. Would you be willing to open your heart to unexpected possibilities? Consider the impact of believing in one another, especially during tough times. As the weeks rolled by, Michael and Lily returned to Harrington Park every Sunday, and each visit brought new progress and possibilities. Noah had become a regular part of their lives, and his presence seemed to ignite something in both Michael and Lily. With each session, Michael observed the gradual transformation in his daughter. She was beginning to regain not just strength in her legs, but also a sense of hope and joy that had been absent since the accident. One sunny Sunday afternoon, as they arrived at the park, Michael noticed a small group of families gathered around Noah. They were drawn in by his warm demeanor and the way he patiently guided Lily through her exercises. Michael felt a surge of admiration for the boy. Noah had turned what began as a desperate plea for help into a community gathering, a space where others could find encouragement and solace. Hi, Isa, Noah called out as they approached, waving enthusiastically. Lily's face lit up at the sight of him. Ready for today? Yeah, I can't wait, she exclaimed, her excitement bubbling over. Michael observed as Noah set up his makeshift training area. He laid out a towel on the grass and pulled out the familiar tools from his gym bag. The tennis ball, the warm rice pack, and some colorful rubber bands had become a regular part of their sessions. Today we're going to try something new, Noah announced, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. We're going to work on strengthening your ankles. Lily nodded eagerly, her determination evident. Noah explained the exercises step by step, making sure she understood each movement. First, let's start with some ankle rolls. Just let your feet relax and follow my lead. As Noah demonstrated, Michael couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Each time Lily successfully completed an exercise, he could see the spark of confidence growing within her. She was no longer just a passive participant. She was actively engaging in her recovery. "Can you feel that?" Noah asked, guiding Lily through the motions.
Your muscles are waking up again. It's all about reminding them how to move. Michael watched closely, impressed by Noah's ability to connect with Lily. The boy's patience made all the difference, allowing her to feel safe and encouraged. He saw how Lily's face would light up with each small victory, a wiggle of her toes, a slight movement of her legs. It was as if each accomplishment was a small piece of a much larger puzzle that was finally coming together. After several weeks of consistent practice, Noah introduced a new challenge. "Today we're going to try to lift your knees a little," he said, excitement evident in his voice. "I'll help you balance, and I want you to focus on lifting them as high as you can." Michael's heart raced as he watched the determination on Lily's face. She concentrated, her brow furrowed in concentration. Noah supported her knees, with a belt guiding her through the movement. Slowly she began to lift her legs, and Michael felt a mix of fear and exhilaration. "Keep going, Isa, you're doing it," Noah encouraged, his voice steady and reassuring.
With each small movement, Michael felt the weight of despair that had been pressing down on him for months begin to lift. He realized that Noah was not just helping Lily regain her physical capabilities, he was also helping Michael heal emotionally. As they finished their session, Michael knelt beside Lily, pride swelling in his chest. "You did amazing today, sweetheart. I'm so proud of you." Lily beamed with joy, her spirit renewed. "Thank you, Noah," she exclaimed, turning to the boy who had become her beacon of hope. Think about the power of community and support in your life. How can you be a source of encouragement for someone who is struggling? Small gestures can lead to monumental changes. Consider reaching out to those who might need a helping hand." As the fourth Sunday rolled around, the weather was warmer, but a sense of unease hung in the air as Michael and Lily made their way to Harrington Park. Michael could see that Lily was unusually quiet, her bright demeanor dimmed. He glanced at her, concern etching lines on his forehead. "Are you excited to see Noah today?" he asked, trying to gauge her mood. She shrugged, her eyes fixed on the ground. "I don't know, Dad," she replied softly. "What if I can't do it today?" Michael felt a wave of empathy wash over him. He understood all too well how frustrating it could be to face setbacks. "It's okay to feel that way," he reassured her, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Just remember that every little step counts, and it's all right if you don't feel like doing much today." When they arrived at the park, Noah was already there, setting up his usual spot beneath the oak tree. He greeted them with his trademark enthusiasm, but Michael noticed that the boy's usual energy seemed slightly subdued as he approached. "Hey, Isa, ready to work on your legs?" Noah asked, his smile genuine, but his eyes betraying a hint of concern. I don't think I can do it today," Lily said, her voice barely above a whisper. She looked at Noah, her eyes clouded with frustration. "I tried this morning and nothing happened. I'm just tired of trying." Noah knelt beside her, his expression turning serious.
"I understand, Isa. It's okay to feel frustrated. I get tired too, you know, but if you stop now, the part of you that wants to walk might stop trying as well." Lily stared at him, tears welling up in her eyes. "I don't want to keep trying and failing," she admitted, her voice trembling. Michael felt his heart ache for her. He wished he could ease her pain and uncertainty. Noah leaned in closer, his tone compassionate. "You're allowed to be mad, and it's okay to feel scared," he said gently, "but that doesn't mean you should give up."
"Sometimes, when we're close to something big, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. You can do this, Isa. I believe in you." After a moment of silence, Lily wiped her face and nodded slowly. Okay, let's try again, she said, determination flickering in her eyes. Noah smiled, his energy returning as he set up for the session. He guided Lily through the familiar routine, using the rice packs and gentle stretches. Michael watched closely, his heart racing as he saw the struggle on Lily's face. This time she seemed particularly tense, her frustration palpable.
Just breathe, Isa. Focus on my voice, Noah encouraged, his voice calm and steady. He worked patiently, guiding her through the motions without pushing too hard. As they progressed, Noah's gentle presence began to ease Lily's anxiety. Gradually, she started to respond, her legs moving slightly under Noah's careful guidance. Michael felt a flicker of hope as he witnessed the small victories unfolding before him. After about 30 minutes, Noah gently tapped Lily's ankle. "Can you feel that?" he asked, watching her intently.
Lily blinked and a glimmer of excitement crossed her face. "A little," she whispered, her eyes wide with disbelief. "That's amazing," Noah exclaimed, his enthusiasm infectious. "It means your muscles are waking up. We just need to keep reminding them how to move." Michael couldn't contain his pride as he knelt beside Lily. "You did so well today, sweetheart. I'm proud of you for not giving up," he said, his voice thick with emotion. As they finished up, Michael felt a renewed sense of determination within himself. He realized that facing challenges together, both for himself and for Lily, was an essential part of their journey. Consider how resilience and encouragement can shape the lives of those around you. In moments of doubt, remind yourself and others that it's okay to feel vulnerable, but it's also essential to keep trying. Your support could make all the difference. As the weekends continued to pass, Michael noticed a remarkable shift in both Lily and Noah. Each session at Harrington Park became a beacon of hope, not just for Lily's physical recovery, but for Michael's emotional healing as well. The bond between the three of them deepened, creating a small community of support that transcended their individual struggles. On one particularly warm Sunday afternoon, the park was alive with activity. Families gathered, some setting up folding chairs while others brought snacks to share. Michael felt a sense of anticipation in the air, as if everyone sensed that something significant was about to happen. Lily, now more eager than ever, was practically bouncing in her wheelchair as they approached Noah, who was already preparing for their session. "Hi, Isa," Noah called out, his excitement evident. "Are you ready for today? I think we're going to try something big." Lily's eyes sparkled with determination. "Yes, I'm ready," she exclaimed, her earlier doubts seemingly forgotten. As they set up, Noah explained the plan for the day. "Today we're going to try standing for just a moment. I'll be right here to help you balance," he said, his tone encouraging. Michael felt a mixture of excitement and anxiety. The thought of Lily standing on her own was both thrilling and terrifying. With the towel laid out and the familiar tools at hand, Noah knelt beside Lily. "Just remember, I'm here with you. We'll take it slow," he reassured her. Michael felt his heart race as he positioned himself behind Lily, ready to support her. "Okay, on the count of 3, I want you to focus on your legs. We'll lift together," Noah instructed. 1, 2, 3. With that, Michael gently lifted Lily while Noah steadied her knees. For a moment, time seemed to freeze. Lily was standing, supported by both Noah and her father, her legs trembling beneath her. The realization washed over Michael like a wave. His daughter was defying the odds.
"Look, Isa, you're standing!" Noah cheered, his excitement infectious. The surrounding families fell silent, watching in awe as Lily took a shaky breath, her eyes wide with disbelief. "Daddy, I'm standing!" Lily gasped, a mixture of fear and exhilaration coursing through her. Michael felt tears prick at the corners of his eyes as he watched her face light up with pure joy. "Take a step, sweetheart. Just one step," Michael urged, his voice filled with emotion. Lily focused intently, her brow furrowed in concentration.
With an immense effort, she shifted her weight and took a tentative step forward. It was a small movement, almost imperceptible, but it was monumental. The crowd erupted into cheers, clapping and shouting encouragement. "You did it, Isa, you really did it," Noah exclaimed, pride radiating from him. But in that moment of triumph, Lily lost her balance and began to wobble. Michael's heart raced as he instinctively reached out to catch her. "I've got you," he shouted, wrapping his arms around her just as she fell into him. Lily burst into laughter, a sound that filled Michael with relief and joy. "I did it, Daddy! I took a step!" "You absolutely did," he replied, his voice thick with emotion. They shared a moment of pure connection, the kind that only comes from facing challenges together. As the crowd around them erupted in applause, Michael realized that this moment was more than just about physical recovery. It was about resilience, hope, and the extraordinary bond they had forged. Noah had not only helped Lily find her strength, but had also inspired Michael to believe again.
In moments of triumph, remember to celebrate the small victories. They can lead to monumental changes in our lives and the lives of others. Reflect on how you can uplift those around you, helping them to realize their potential, just as Noah did for Lily. After that remarkable Sunday, the atmosphere at Harrington Park changed. What had begun as a small gathering of 3 had blossomed into a community. Families began to arrive every weekend, drawn by the stories of Lily's progress and the magic of Noah's encouragement.
Soon there were children of all ages, some with walkers, others in wheelchairs, all seeking the same hope that Lily had found. Michael felt a swell of pride each time he saw Noah guiding another child through exercises, patiently explaining movements and encouraging every small victory. He watched as Noah helped kids find their strength, giving them the confidence to believe in themselves. The park had transformed into a haven of healing and support, where laughter and encouragement filled the air. One sunny afternoon, as they gathered for another session, Michael noticed a nurse from the Children's Medical Center standing at the edge of the park. She watched with a smile, her eyes sparkling with joy as she observed the progress of the children. Michael approached her, curiosity piqued. "I didn't expect to see you here," he said, nodding toward the scene of children stretching and laughing. "What brings you out today?" "I heard about the changes happening here," she replied, her voice warm. "Isla's progress is incredible. It's heartwarming to see how Noah has inspired all these kids." As the nurse spoke, Michael felt a deep sense of gratitude. Noah had not only helped Lily, but had also created an environment where other families could find hope. The boy's selflessness and determination shone brightly, and Michael realized how much of an impact he had made on their lives. Later that day, as they wrapped up their session, Michael knelt beside Noah. "I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for Lily and for all these kids," he said, his voice filled with sincerity. "You've changed lives, and I don't think you even realize how special that is." Noah shrugged, a modest smile on his face. "I just want to help. My mom taught me that everyone deserves to feel human again, and that's all I'm trying to do." Michael's heart swelled with emotion. He understood now that Noah wasn't just helping kids walk. He was helping them reclaim their lives and their identities. It was a powerful lesson about resilience, hope, and the importance of community. As weeks turned into months, Lily continued to make strides in her recovery. She could now stand without support and even took a few steps on her own, her confidence growing with each session. Michael felt a profound shift within himself as well. The heaviness that had burdened him for so long began to lift, replaced by a sense of possibility and optimism. On the day of Lily's first solo steps, the park was packed with families, therapists, and friends. As she stood, ready to take her first independent steps, a hush fell over the crowd. Michael held his breath, his heart racing with anticipation. "Remember, Isa, Noah said softly, kneeling beside her. You've got this. Just focus on moving forward. With all eyes on her, Lily took a deep breath and stepped forward. The crowd erupted in cheers as she moved, her face lighting up with joy and determination. In that moment, she wasn't just walking, she was conquering her fears and embracing her future. As the celebration continued, Michael realized how powerful it was to have someone believe in you. Noah had given Lily the gift of hope, and in doing so, he had transformed their lives and the lives of many others. Remember that anyone can make a difference, no matter how small the action may seem. By believing in one another and offering support, we can foster hope and healing in our communities. Consider how you can uplift someone in your life today. Your encouragement might be the spark they need to take their first steps forward.